What's up, y'all? So I have a long drive, so I wanted to talk to y'all about something that bothers me a lot. Corruption in boxing, corruption in sports in general, from the NFL to the NBA, but mainly boxing, because I'm a big fan of boxing. And I know people say, hey, well, I shouldn't worry too much about it, and this and that, but it affects me a lot, because it affects the fans a lot, and you know, it's not up for debate. There is corruption in boxing from America to wherever. The Olympics. You think it's a coincidence that the Olympics and boxing get put in certain countries, like in China, or the Olympics go to wherever, Russia? Do you think that's a coincidence? No, that's corruption. World corruption right there. Now, for example, in the NFL, if a stadium's built and that goes to Denver or something like that, is that corruption? That could be debatable. But as far as boxing, it's the way it's governed is very under the table, and there's a bunch of different sanctions and stuff like that, and it's just very corrupt. There's a lot of stuff going on that people don't understand, and a lot of fighters do take dives. What I mean by dives, they do take pay to lose. One incident that stands out is the Ugas. He's known to be abrupt to bring the fight to anybody. So it went viral whenever he lost suspense because he wasn't fighting like he used to fight. He usually fights. It was obvious. Everybody knew. I mean, you can't be this type of fighter and then show up and fight a different way and then not stand out. And not be suspicious. Same thing when Crawford beat Porter. The towel got thrown in, and that was a big weird thing. Um, there's a bunch of different incidences where that's the case. Like, the thing is, the guy who's supposed to win doesn't know the fix is in. It's the guy who loses, the one who's supposed to lose. Is the one who has to take that beating, kind of like Jamal Herring against Shakur Stevenson. That was highly suspect. I mean, the dude didn't fight back at all. People can debate and argue that, Shakur Stevenson just had him shocked and had him froze up and he had handcuffs on. He didn't know what to do. Come on, man. Come on. If I was fighting Shakur Stevenson in a boxing match, if anybody was, like Oscar Valdez, when y'all see him fight, he's not gonna. You think he's gonna stand there and just be a punching bag? No, he's gonna fight back. He's gonna give it his all. But what did Jamal Herring do? What did he do? He stood there the whole fight, barely even throwing, and just got beat down. Now, how do you do that? If I was fighting Shakur Stevenson, like I said, and I was getting just picked apart, I would bum rush him. Like I've boxed before. I was a professional MMA fighter as well for 9 years, from 2007 to 2016. So I can give y'all my professional opinion. And same thing with steroids. That's also a corrupted thing in sports, and especially boxing. 90% of fighters in MMA and boxing are on performance enhancing drugs, and that's a fact. I was on it. I'm telling y'all, everybody's on it. So, I mean, if you look at who Haney and Shakur and Andrade, Boo Andrade, who they're with, the snack, Victor Conte, those supplements, Victor Conte is known to have undetectable steroids that they cannot be detected by regular tests. And USADA, WADA, they can't detect it. So for Shakur Stevenson in a recent interview to say that Oscar Valdez to not to cheat is kind of funny because he's totally hangs out and is sponsored by somebody known to cheat, Victor Conte. And I'm going to post a documentary on Victor Conte here in a minute. I just wanted to get this off my chest real quick. And yeah. Also, yeah, I wanted to add, like, as far as corruption, it's everybody knows that fights can be fixed. Also, like what I was talking about earlier, you know, they they'll pay one guy to take a dive, quote unquote. you know, in order to set up the future of another fighter. And they do that different ways. I mean, the referee can be easily paid off. The judges are definitely can be easily paid off. So that means you have to look into the boxers, and like when Canelo fought Mayweather. I mean, they one judge even had Canelo winning against Mayweather. And I'm a Canelo fan, but hey, Mayweather beat Canelo straight up. He beat him unanimously in my eyes. But you see how it works. If Canelo can get one of the judges to say that he won, that's crazy. That goes back to Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson, because Oscar Valdez is, of course, in Canelo's camp. Now, I'm not calling them cheaters or anything like that. I'm just saying judges and corruption, it's part of the sport. So, one thing that stood out to me is who Shakur Stevenson's manager is. Jay Prince, owner of Rap A Lot Records. The guy, if you look into it, the one who bullied Mayweather and had goons run into his gym with bats and demanded money from Mayweather and stuff like that. That's the man who's the manager of Shakur Stevenson. That's highly suspect. So that makes me think that the Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson is kind of up for grabs, and who knows what might happen. That's why in my last video of my when I think I labeled it Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez final words and prediction. So that's what I was talking about, and that's what was on my mind. I said corruption, all corruption aside, which I highly doubt, because it is what it is. There's gonna be corruption involved of some sort involved. They're both undefeated. I mean, they both have a lot to gain. They both have a lot to lose. So I don't know how that fight's going to really go with so much corruption involved. I don't know if they both have a future. I mean, maybe they'll make it a draw. In that case, neither one of them will technically lose, but the fans might kind of lose, and none of them will be unified. But still, that's one thing to think about. Anyways, like I said, subscribe, like, comment, and I do try to reply to all the comments. Keep in mind, if you're in a different time zone, I do have a life outside of this, so if I don't get to your comment, don't say, "Hey, don't ignore me." Come on, seriously. But yeah, I've got some of those. I'm not ignoring anybody. I try to reply to all comments that are related to the content and boxing. And if you attack me personally, don't get offended if I attack you back, because I do speak my mind, and I will. God bless everybody. All corruption aside, which I highly doubt, question everything. I'm Magno TV. Peace.